You guys mentioned on the podcast who you think the Blue Bloods of college basketball are, and I'm curious what it would take for Florida to reach that status for you. UF has made it to at least one Final Four for 4 straight decades. They have 3 national titles, the only back-to-back champion who did it with the same starting 5, and a Hall of Fame coach, not to mention some straight-up iconic players. I'm not saying they're a slam dunk to be there at this moment. I understand there are a lot of teams with incredible history and tradition, but the Gators have got to be close right? What do you say?
Well, I don't think they're close. In 2020, when we were all going through it, I spent probably about 2 months researching 80 plus programs to determine who the best 68 were in the history of men's college basketball. You can Google that. And frankly, if I have the time and the desire, I probably should update that list at some point in the coming years. I applied a point system when I did that, and that was everything to total wins, NCAA tournament appearances, national championships, Final Fours, NBA picks, the amount of weeks you've been ranked. A whole bunch of stuff went into it to make it, semi-scientific. It was a full-on, pretty widespread accounting of 100 plus years of men's college basketball to that point. And when I did that, Florida was 40th.
You're right.
Now it has since won a national championship. If I redid the list today, it's going to be closer to 30, but it's still not a blue blood. And I don't think close. And you know what a big hindrance is? Here are who I think the blue bloods are: Carolina, Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, UCLA, UConn. I'm a little easier on this than some. And then Louisville and Villanova. I
made the same list last night. Okay. I think we vary on the schools, but there's something I noticed about that list of schools that doesn't apply to Florida.
Yes.
I wonder if we're saying the same thing.
What do they all have in common? Every single one of those schools. And if you want to put Indiana in there, you can. I'm of the belief that it has actually fallen out of that and can get back. To me, you don't get an entrance into it and you're there forever. Frankly, Villanova might be teetering right now. But what are all of them in Indiana? What do they all have in common? All of them. Basketball is the show in town. It's the main thing. It's not that at Florida. It will never be that at Florida. And so because of that, I just don't think Florida is knocking on the door of blue blood status. You can be a tremendous program, and Florida is. It is a great, great program. It's one of the better jobs in the country, but to elevate to blue blood status, you're so much closer in football than you are in basketball. I've got a couple of thoughts on, I think, the programs that are closest to achieving blue blood status, but we can get to that in a second. What are your thoughts on the question, GP?
So we were on the exact same page here. I made the same note last night. I did an AI overview.
Oh, God, no. I don't want to hear that.
I did an AI overview.
I don't want the AI. I never want the AI overview, ever.
I was trying to get overviewed by the AI. And I said, what are the basketball blue bloods? And this is what it spit out: Kentucky, UCLA, North Carolina, Duke, Kansas, Indiana, and UConn. It stopped right there. Okay. Take it up with AI overview if you want to.
I will.
And immediately I'm like, okay, basketball is the most important thing on every one of those campuses, except for obviously at Indiana now.
I like currently now, but obviously big picture, it's still.
Yes, of course it is. So that was my question for you. Can you be a blue blood in basketball when basketball isn't the most important thing on your campus? I don't even know the answer. I'm asking from an honest point.
Maybe theoretically, but I would say no, especially like now when you can try and commit as much as you can to both, but one's going to win out over the other. And at Florida, football.
Well, that is interesting. There was
it is a dual school. Like remember back when they won the 2000s, the only one to ever hold it at the same time, all that stuff. So it has proven it to a certain level. I want to be very clear about this. But it is a very, very good program, but it also, the totality of the program, the history of it, like it's just not one of the 25 best programs in the history of the sport. It's just not to this point.
But to your point, it's now, there was a time when Florida was doing that and people would say things like, see, there's no reason you can't be great at both. And then Bruce Pearl famously, we're not everything school. Right. There's no reason you can't be great at all these things. What's interesting now is there is actually a reason you can't be great at all these things. And it's because if you give too much of the money to one of these things, it is coming at the expense of one of these other things. So they take away from each other, literally take away from each other as it pertains to revenue share. And so I think it's perhaps more difficult than it has been recently at places that don't prioritize basketball like Kentucky and North Carolina. It might be more difficult to keep up with them because the way this is going is the football schools are leaning to football, and some of the basketball schools lean a little. Everybody leans toward football, but the basketball schools at the basketball programs at the big basketball schools tend to get taken a little better of in rev share than say, the LSU basketball coach right now, I'm certain.
Okay, real quick before we move on. So you did not have Villanova or Indiana on your list, correct?
AI overview didn't.
Okay. Who is the school that you think is closest to achieving blue blood status that isn't there?
Well,
I'm guessing you would say Villanova. I have them there.
Villanova's obviously I think Villanova would be there if Jay had never left. I don't know where that's going next, but certainly on a list of possibilities. I'm not saying Louisville. I mean, I've got right at the top of my list.
There. I think in that state, the history, and actually the thing that actually firms up that they're there for me is they came off their worst run ever. They got a coach, and look how good they are immediately. To me, they are there. I would put Louisville there, and I frankly think you have to work harder to take them off the list, and you have to put them on it.
That's fine with me. I was raised on the Metro. You ain't got to tell me nothing about this. What does Michigan State got to do to get there besides the obvious win more national titles?
Well, the two that I have that I think are the closest are Arizona and Michigan State.
Literally,
you need to have a minimum of 3 national titles to your name to be on this list. Michigan State has 2. Arizona has 1, but they are the 2 that I think if they did enough winning in the next 5 to 7 years, they could get there. I actually think it increases your case if you win it with different coaches, which Duke cannot claim, but Duke is obviously there. We understand that. UCLA has multiple. UConn has multiple. Villanova has multiple. Louisville has multiple. Carolina has multiple. Kentucky has multiple. Kansas has multiple. If you've had different coaches bring you to national championships, that strengthens your case. Arizona and Michigan State would both fit into that box. I think they're knocking on the door. I don't think they're there yet, but those would be my 2 closest. Again, because I already have Vil and Nova on the list, and I have Indiana on the outskirts. It can come back in. I know Indiana fans, I think the general public would put IU there. They have just drifted so far afield of what they were for the past 25 years. To me, it's a status that you can lose. You can get it back, but I have Indiana on the outside looking in right now.
I could see, theoretically, if Gonzaga's next hire is great, I could see Gonzaga getting there someday, Purdue getting there someday.
I think you need 3 titles, though. I honestly do. You need to win multiple titles. I don't think one thing gets you, blue blood, highest level GP. I even if Gonzaga won this season, few was there, they won in 2 years, I still wouldn't put them there because they wouldn't have enough titles. That's just
okay, fine. Ready for this?
Yeah.
Best candidate to be a blue blood going forward. Ben McCollum. Ben McCollum is a blue blood. He's 4 national titles. You said you only need 3. Ben's got 4.
Division 2 level. So if you want to make Northwest Missouri State a blue blood, for sure.
I want to make Ben McCollum, him personally, a blue blood.
We got to keep it moving.